Hello, everyone, and welcome to the typical end of a run Danny and Jacob tier list of something that had to do with the run. Hi, Danny. You ready for this?
So, because I made this and I'm entirely unbiased, I'm gonna make a bold prediction that everything ends up in S tier.
So the idea for, instead of doing like a unit tier list or something, I thought it'd be a funny idea to tier the maps based on like how I felt about them, how funny the changes were, how weird they were or whatever. Just kind of like
Yeah.
picking out favorites or whatever, just for funsies. Um, let's see. So I know the first thing we should probably start with is like throw all the Ephraim route maps down here because we didn't play the Ephraim route maps.
Is Ephraim route also where we're putting the maps we don't like? Like, might as well have been an Ephraim route.
We can do that. Ephraim route can also be the place for maps we don't care about. You'll go down there.
I like how the map
All of those.
for Scorched Sands is just the desert map, like the desert island map.
Yeah, they also have the desert items on it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they just use the desert item map.
Just
for
pulled
that.
it from
I think
somewhere.
That's a funny choice. It's goofy. It's pure goofballery.
So we had the first map where Sniper Seth was introduced. And I guess the tiers here. I didn't really think too hard on like tier names or whatever. Pink map design were maps that I actually thought were like kind of fun and interesting to play.
That's all of them.
Yeah, all of them basically. Unit changes.
I'm a good designer, I promise. We
Oh,
didn't run into like 7,000 issues in the final map.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have to like tamper with the save file to make it work.
Nope.
Unit changes is more so for like a map where there wasn't really a lot of gimmick, but it's because like the unit itself was the change or whatever. Very funny. It's just where I'm putting stuff that made me laugh. And stairs will represent maps where my plans kept getting made problem because I couldn't walk on stair tiles.
Or a similar feeling.
Yeah, a similar feeling of, oops, I forgot that works that way. Like Devil Longbows or something, where I'm like, well, that's right. That's how that works.
Yeah.
I think the first one would just go in unit changes because Sniper Seth that can't attack is incredibly funny.
And Infinite Rapier Erica.
Yes, Infinite Rapier
Balance
Erica.
it out.
So that one goes up here, I think.
And I think Chapter 1 is the same deal because Gilliam and Franz just like don't have weapons they can use.
That's right. It was like the whole, you were talking about the trading tutorial. There was some change to it about like, I think like Franz
I gave Franz an iron bow for Seth to trade to him. Or not an iron bow, a steel bow.
Steel bow or something. Or he had like a full inventory of vulnerary, so it's like, look, now you can trade infinitely or whatever.
Well, I definitely gave a steel bow because I remember being like, Jacob's gonna try to trade this to Seth.
Look, see, he can't use it because he only has E-bows.
I'm so fun. I'm so clever like that. I'm so clever like that. Meanwhile, Seth ends up being like your 5th best unit for the entire early game.
Yeah.
He just was able to wall.
He could just stand still. I guess the third one also, there wasn't a lot of changes to the third one as well, right? It was mostly just unintended Garcia.
Yeah, unintended Garcia was supposed to not die. That was where the playthrough took a big turn.
This is the moment where everything changed.
But that was the Vanessa can't rescue Ross because he's red. That was Red Ross getting killed by his dad, right?
I forgot about Red Ross, so we had to like rescue Garcia so he wouldn't kill Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Because this map gave us base level Vanessa that contributed so long, Super Garcia, and it was just really funny. I'm throwing it up in peak map design.
Oh, okay. Well, there are a lot of peaks on it, so that makes sense.
There are lots of peaks in this map, yes. This one gave us this gave us Nami, but it's not quite where like Nami was unshackled.
Unshackled Nami
later.
was when she used the bolt.
So this was just like vanilla Nami. This one was incredibly funny because I remember Ross kept backfiring with the hatchet on himself.
Well, that was also where you discovered the Philly shield doesn't work.
Oh right, that's right. I discovered the Feely Shield didn't work.
Because that's the first map with archers on it.
And Vanessa just died because I was like, oh, she has a
You
Feely
did your
Shield.
calcs. You did your calcs, and I was just sitting there with my tongue bit.
And again, I think Ross like backfired and died like 3 times or something. I kept having to reset.
All right, how do you feel about the Spirit Forest in GBA?
I thought it was incredibly funny. It was tedious to no end, but it was so funny.
See, I would have put that in stairs just because, like, it's
Oh,
awful.
that's also true.
But it's if I think you had a little bit more fun than I would have.
Oh yeah, I know you would have hated that map, but I thought it was incredibly amusing.
You know what map I didn't hate though? The map that made you sacrifice half your army.
I had to feed everyone to Joshua so I could recruit him. I think that's a case for the Joshua change. And that's also where I recruited Joshua, and I poured so much into him to make him work, and I got 0 return on my investment. I got a 7 movement staff out of training Joshua.
Okay, but like your Joshua was stat screwed though.
It's his
Wasn't
magic.
he like -4 strength magic?
His magic was the downside. I think if he just had better magic, he could have actually been like a funny unit to use, but he just had no magic.
With all devil weapons.
Yeah, and all devil weapons.
Well, the funny thing is he had no magic, but enemies have low enough res that like he could kill himself but not them.
Yeah, he would backfire on himself and he would die. I remember in Carapellin, he like crit backfired himself twice or something.
Yeah. But you reset for him on like loot.
Yeah, I reset for him because Joshua was my favorite.
The loot army will not forgive you.
5X was like the fun puzzle where I had to like somehow open the door and like get a Regent Leaf or something.
Yeah, so I believe everyone was unarmed and there was a Regent Leaf in the chest. And you just had like no weapons, just chest keys and door keys.
And like one of the chests had like something dumb in it, like it had like a door key in it. The other one actually had the Regent Leaf in it.
No, one of them had a chest key to open the other chest.
Oh, that's what it was. It had a chest key just so you could open the other chest and waste a turn. I thought this map was really funny. I thought this map was like actually kind of fun to figure out the like figuring out how to get the weapon initially. I thought that was actually a really funny and cool idea.
I felt like it was the only way for me to actually make 5X worse.
Because otherwise the map itself is just like, what
already pretty bad.
What do you do to make it worse?
I ran into that problem with a couple of maps. Village of Silence is the other one that sticks out. It's like, what do I do here?
I'm trying to remember what changed about the fog.
This is the fog map, right?
Yeah.
What did I do to the fog map actually?
I think like
there were very few changes because did I make fog vision 1 tile or something?
Oh, that's right. You made the fog vision 1 tile, so I couldn't see anything, and I couldn't buy torches.
I think that was my only change.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But I was like, it was one of those where I was like, I'm gonna do a minor change and then let all of the bigger changes from previous maps sort of like add up,
compound on top of it.
Yeah.
I think since
I will admit this is probably one of my weaker maps.
I still thought it was funny. I might just put it like here, because like
I think reducing the fog tiles is like the most basic bitch solution.
I still thought it was fun, or like an interesting like way to do it, especially on like an easier map like this.
Didn't I gaslight you into going to get the antitoxin or something?
No, you tried to convince me to not get the antitoxin.
Right.
You tried to talk me out of it.
You took like 15 minutes to go get it because you were convinced I replaced it with something good.
And I was wrong.
Speaking of things you were wrong about, this was my moment of glory.
I know you are still riding the high of me turning my nose up, pointing my chin out, adjusting my glasses and going, Dani, don't you know that Ballista give weapon experience? Time for Seth to reach D-bows. Just to realize he didn't get anything from killing.
Do you even think Seth, if he'd gotten debows, would have been useful, or would he just spend Inez again?
I think he could have done something. Actually, now I'm really curious what Inez versus Seth's bases are.
Well,
because Seth's in a better class.
You can pull up your save file and see what Seth looks like.
Sure.
Oh, did he die and I forgot about it?
Yeah, Seth is freaking dead.
Oh, well, you can start a new game.
Here, we'll try something. Oh, why didn't I just do the compare feature? Seth. What does like a base level Seth versus Inez look like?
Bear in mind also that Seth was not going to have silver rank too.
Yeah, wow, they actually have like identical bases, and Inez has like 3 speed on him. So he really would have just been another Inez.
And Inez was disappointing.
Yeah, it would have been something, especially for the early game before I had units like stat cap deframe. It's funny. I thought it was incredibly funny. Like, I wanted to go like bury myself in a hole afterwards though, because I was like,
I respect you leaving it in the video.
Yeah, like I could have easily cut that out to save face, but where's the fun in that?
Speaking of fun, the Christmas Cavalier is turning green.
I also got tripped up by the stairs a ton in this one. I kept trying to move Erica around.
That was the most epic stairs map.
She kept getting walled by the stairs.
I don't think you ever learned about the stairs, but I think this was the one where you like learned the least.
Where I was just like, oh right, they can't go upstairs. Oh right, they can't go upstairs.
And then Kyle survived, but not for long.
Yeah, Ford ended up dying, but Kyle lived. I knew I wasn't gonna get him, but like at least he lived, right? Right? Okay.
Until Johanna Hall.
We're saying all this, and it actually just started playing the sad music because I just have MGBA running in the background, and it's playing the sad song that it plays at the route split whenever the twins separate. So this is actually kind of fitting.
The Christmas Cavaliers separated, and it's sad. But they will reunite, don't worry. It will be happy when they reunite.
I'll tell you what's happy. The fact that I managed to get the second Rapier village and the Renak village. I think I'm pretty good.
You should be proud of that. You should be proud of that. That was really impressive.
I also shouldn't have done that.
No, it was not worth it at all. Your Rapier was infinite use. And what's the stat booster? Like an Angel Robe or some shit?
Yeah, because Renak gives you 1 stat booster in the house, and then he gives you another one on the way out. I cannot remember what it is.
I'm not going to look it up because I don't care.
I'm not going to bother.
Either way, that was where we got Tana as well.
Yeah, that's where we got Tana, and she couldn't promote for the whole game.
Until you gave her the Master Seal.
And then she promoted it to a pirate. Now she can cross water tiles again.
just like in the real canon.
Now she'll be useful for water walking in chapter 6 or chapter 7.
Get out.
This map.
This was so good. Aggressive.
I remember like the map itself didn't have a lot of
15
changes.
move tennis with ballistas.
Oh, that's where I learned about Ballista being like Killer and Devil. I didn't realize in chapter 8 the Ballista were like crit weapons because I just didn't look at the crit stat on them.
The forecast was on screen the whole time.
And I just never looked at it. I even went in the video and I added like a little question mark next to the high crit number because I just didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few times I ever bothered to edit something for the video.
I mean, it was very funny.
Not much changed for this map either, right? Other than like La Rochelle was giving cap stats and Dawslick died on turn 2 or something.
Yeah, La Rochelle with cap stats, and this was another one where there were a lot of stairs.
I also couldn't walk up the stairs and I kept forgetting about it.
You got stairs quite a few times. I think this is the last map where Seth got deployed, right?
One of the last maps he did, and then from then on, and then later, I just started deploying him as like a portable light room that could block 1 attack.
And then eventually he died.
And then he died. Salute.
FE07.
How do you feel about
Uh,
Village of Silence?
This fucking garbage map.
We're gonna put it on E for
I didn't really know how to improve it. I feel like this was the one that I made like the least changes on TBH.
Oh, I remember what it was. You added the
I
peaks.
just like added a peak.
You
right?
added
That
like
was the
2
only
peaks
thing.
to like make it so I have to rescue people over with Vanessa and Ross.
Imagine if you gave Vanessa the boots.
Oh God.
Well, I guess you couldn't have at that point. But,
That would have been
yeah,
like
it
her
was,
one utility in the end game.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
This map is peak because it was the birth of the IS saga.
Yeah. For some reason, I have no idea why I decided. You know what? I'm gonna make IS into a recurring boss.
He's gonna be the super boss.
I pumped his stats up to make him really hard to kill on the defend map. And I was like, you know what? What if he just like followed you around?
What if he just showed up again?
Inspired to a degree by Hans from Code of the Burger King, because he shows up as a green unit one time as well. In Johanna Hall. Or not Johanna Hall. In
Oh yeah,
Last
in
Hope.
Roston. He showed up as like the green general that actually made the map playable and beatable.
But then I waited 2 maps before he made his first reappearance. So Johanna Hall was another one where there was very minimal changes. Erica got put in isolation zone.
I also had to kept getting blocked by
And
stairs.
Renak started outside of the room. But other than that,
You know,
there weren't really any big changes.
I don't mind that change. Like, it actually means you kind of got to chase him down.
Yeah. Yeah, it adds like one of the things I recently did an Erica mode tier list, and one of the things I realized when I was talking about Garrick, and I was like, the thing that sucks about Garrick is he's heavy, so if you're ever on a time-based objective, you can't really rescue him there. It's like, actually, the last time-based objective is Garrick.
Yeah.
Like, saving him.
There's like
And then
no
suddenly there's
more-
none left.
Like, the only time you have time-based objectives otherwise is like the river keeping the green units alive that you have warp for.
Yeah. The River of Regrets, and I guess technically speaking,
I guess there's like the
Renak, if you
chests.
open the door, like, and don't realize it.
Yeah. There's like the chest
Yeah.
in Renee's castle, I guess, that the thieves can reach if you trigger them.
Oh, that's true. They're so
But, like,
deep in.
Again, you have warp at that
It
point.
takes
You
so
have,
long.
you have warp and Hammern. You can just throw people over the wall.
Yeah.
I'm putting this in stairs.
I guess
because-
La Rochelle's technically one as well, but like she
Eh,
and also survived
she's
for a while.
This is also where I got like 70 Regin Leaves that I had to deal with for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, that was actually a last minute change. I did that like the day before we recorded.
There were so
made that
many
change.
of them.
I was like, oh, this would be funny. What if initially that was gonna be on Scorched Sands, so you would literally have to get all of them, but I was like, you know what, it'd be funny if like I give you a choice. And you chose to kill every enemy on that map.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So the consequences of your actions.
Oops.
Speaking of consequences,
The desert.
Dusel fucking devil backfiring
That's going up here.
immediately.
That's going in peak because Dussel's first round of combat was him devil critting himself with a hatchet, dying. And I said, you know what? If that's how you're gonna go out, you're no longer the Obsidian.
Wasn't Noel green too?
No one was green, so he died the turn he showed up.
He just like suicided.
He just died.
Yeah, Dusel died. The other big change was that both bosses moved.
Yeah,
I
the
believe.
bosses just chase you down. Oh, and Kalex's Hoplon Guard worked. Mine didn't, but Kalex did, and I was like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. I still have no idea how that happened,
Minorly upset about that.
but that's pretty funny. I think.
It was. Oh, that also had the 46 use clips that I didn't think about. I got attacked like 8 times by Eclipse before going, I wonder how many uses it has left. I realized I had like over
Right?
40 uses.
See, the thing is, like, all the weapon changes, aside from bolting, I didn't actually make the weapon changes with specific maps in mind. I made a those weapon changes as like a global change to upset you about the numbers being unbalanced. And it just so happened that was the first time you saw Eclipse, just like Purge on Pablo it was a global change that I made. It wasn't specifically for Pablo.
You just didn't see it until then.
The only map where I made the weapon change with that map in mind was Bolting Joshua.
Bolting Joshua.
But like the evil Purge with Stoners was just a change that I made independent of maps.
Yeah.
Now eventually I gave them to Reeve, but
to make it funny.
Yeah, just to be funny.
You gave one to Ias and Last Hope. And he like blasted some poor archer into the darkness. He used his keen eagle eye to look through 3 layers of walls and pitch black darkness and said, "You in particular."
What's extra funny is he could have hit the boss.
Yeah, but instead he hit the Brave Bow sniper.
Yeah, he killed the Brave Bow sniper so you wouldn't get it.
Of all enemies he decided to fight, he was like, Brave Bow sniper, this one.
You did get a Brave Bow though. You did end up getting a Brave Bow.
But I never used it.
Through the gotcha machine.
Woo. This is where Ias made his second. He made his second coming, and he was like, "I'm gonna be a Galzus now. Deal with me."
I actually really like this map because in addition to Ias just like being, it wasn't Galzus, like he was just near your deployments to start out. The wall being closed off, so you had to go the long way around, and then all the forests.
Or spend all of your warp uses.
And I believe that was the first instance of enemy druids.
Yeah, 14 move druids. Rewarp druids,
which is
basically.
that's one of my favorite global changes, is the 14 move druids. That's actually part of why I made Null green. Because I didn't want you to have access to a 14 move druid without using Ewan.
Because you knew I was going to make him a druid.
Yeah.
I think this goes up in like very funny, because I thought this was a very funny map. Because of so many changes to it.
And then Cutthroat map. And then there's Cutthroat map.
Peak map. That was one of the best maps in the game.
Cutthroat map was amazing. Cutthroat, it wasn't even that like...
Cutthroat shows up out of nowhere with the Brave Axe. I tried to have him do combat, and he like dies to a Devil Axe or whatever.
He died to a snag. A Devil Axe on the snag.
Devil Axe to snag, and he died.
Immediately.
That's also where the green units were red now. Okay, because like the obvious choice is like make Cyrene red so she eats the green units. So she eats the green units. No. Make the green units red so green Cyrene eats them.
Yes. Oh yes.
And so
then
I couldn't walk through them. And then
they were like in the way. They were like acting as light ruins.
I couldn't walk through them, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I need to get around here."
So you have no idea how tempting it was to change the rescue staff to be a fucking dummy tome.
Oh, that would have been so mean.
A la Fire Emblem 12, changing the warp staff reward to a vulnerary on the highest difficulty, because fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, that's fun. The egg map was also kind of funny. There wasn't, the only changes were just the
2 Garcias and the Gorgonias.
Yeah.
With his iconic silver blade.
His iconic silver blade! I love that he always had a silver blade in his inventory. That was peak.
Even as the final boss.
Always silver blade in hand. And just like in FE4, he never used it.
And then Last Hope. Unfortunately, Last Hope didn't end up doing what I wanted it to do, which was... Because I made Mansell aggressive AI. I should have just given him more move.
Yeah, if you would have given him like 7 moves.
I wanted to give you a chance to actually like succeed. So I was like, 4 move is reasonable. But it just ended up being too easy to box him in.
Yeah.
I should have given him like 6 move. I think that would have been a good middle ground. Because like 7 or 8 would be, I think, too much.
There'd be no way to keep him alive. I do remember
aggressive Mansell who you cannot pick up. La Rochelle defecting.
to be green again.
Green IS who's secretly working against you.
I remember
Kill the Bravo guy.
I remember warping Ias to the bottom part of the map with his Devil Axe equipped just so he could clear out the area so I could do a warp skip.
Didn't he die too?
He died, yeah. Oh, this is where La Rochelle ate my Hamern, so I lost 7 warp uses.
Because you saved before you checked the map, which is the biggest mistake.
Yep. So I lost out on Hamern, so I lost out on a bunch of warp uses.
Which led to one of the coolest warp skips I've ever seen.
I'm really happy with how I handled this map without having to reset.
You played super well.
Like,
played super well.
I lost Irene and Cormag, but...
But you weren't going to field them in the final map anyway, were you?
I might have in place of, like, I don't know... Loot. But I'm very happy with how that map turned out. I liked that warp skip a lot. Planning warp skips on the fly is so much fun. Like, I know some people get a lot of fun out of like setting up like planned warp skips for like low turns or whatever. But I really like setting up warp skips on the fly. Like, you're doing an Ironman, you don't want to reset, things go horribly south, and you realize, I gotta end this map right now. How do I warp skip this map with the mess of cards that have been like dealt to me? I think that's incredibly fun to figure out.
Yeah, I like both aspects, TBH. I like planning something out ahead of time, especially in a zero growth run. That can be very satisfying to be like, okay, this is a problem map, how do I tackle it? But I also really like adjusting partway through to new changes.
Having to adapt on the fly.
It's something that I feel like happens most often in first playthroughs, if there's like an unexpected threat or whatever.
So it's always fun to try to adapt real quickly. And then...
we've got the 2 final maps.
The route.
Route and...
Route the temple.
And then Ias Statue.
This was very funny. This was peak.
Again, I feel the need to emphasize, I literally had to lower the Demon King's stats by like double-digit amounts each in order to stop overflow, and he still had ridiculous stats.
He still had like 35 AS. He was literally hard fighting idiots.
He was doubling and 100% hitting everyone.
He was doubling with 100% hit a stat capped E-frame. Like,
and he never used his iconic Silver Blade. If you could have baited him into using the Silver Blade, you could have leveraged weapon triangle advantage.
I could have, but like, at what point is he gonna use a 14 might 65 hit sword instead of a weapon that grants like plus 20 to all stats with 1-3 range?
I mean, if you had thrown an axe person in his range.
I guess.
Just the AI is like, oh shit, weapon
triangle. I will sacrifice the plus 15 magic I'm getting from my stone and equip the funny sword instead.
You never know. You never know.
This was such a dumb run through this game, and I loved it. Do you have any last thoughts about these maps or anything before we go?
Yeah, I would like someone to make a Fire Emblem game where Ias is the main character. Thank you very much.
Ias Emblem.
That's my request.
We'll see it one day. We'll get the Ias origin story where we see how he ended up as a tactician under Kalek.
And who defected temporarily before becoming Demon King.
He ascended to Demon King.
He defected to Rouston so that he could steal their sacred stone in order to become the new Demon King.
So we could cap out all of his stats.
I'm honestly impressed that you managed to beat him. I kind of expected him to softlock you.
Small amount of rigging. Oh, thank you so much for the run. Thank you for throwing all this together, making some running jokes, some running memes.
Thank you for watching, everyone who watched.
Thank you everyone for watching. I think I'm gonna see all of you around. See you guys.
Bye!